Yo, what is up, fam? Welcome back to the Car Talk Podcast. I'm so pumped to be doing another one of these, and I just want to quickly apologize for the lack of uploads recently. I have been just kind of going about my life and just not really thinking too much about this project, and I feel bad about it, but I know for a fact that I started it with a reason, and that reason is to bring value to you, and I will not stop doing that. And I feel like right now the Car Talk Podcast is like the best way that I can kind of get down to the nitty gritty and just literally like dig deep. Obviously I post on Instagram, TikTok, and all other platforms, but it's just not the same as something like this. A podcast or this type of environment is just a more intimate vibe, and I think it's something special, and I really have fun doing them. And so for that reason, I'm going to continue doing them. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate you so much. And without further ado, let's just dive right into this episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that I really think is like the whole idea of why I'm even posting content in general. And it's essentially just to share my perspective and to hopefully influence your perspective in a healthy way, so that you can experience more happiness and just more good vibes rather than unhappiness and bad vibes. And the way that I basically kind of articulate, tuning a perspective is basically just, you can look at things in two ways: a bad perspective or a good perspective. And a good perspective is literally going to allow you to see the good in every situation. And it takes a lot of optimism to kind of stay that way, but ultimately, when you look at things through a good perspective, you're going to just be so much happier on a daily basis, as opposed to when you're looking through things through a bad perspective and you're just kind of looking at all of the negatives in the situation or thinking about all of the negatives. And when I'm saying this, don't think that I've got this mastered, and don't think that I have a bulletproof perspective, because I promise you, over the last couple weeks, 3 months, or not even, throughout my whole life, to be quite honest, I've always struggled. I've always truly struggled with having a healthy perspective, and it wasn't until I found people that were basically doing what I'm doing here, sharing their perspective and their success and their learnings throughout their journey of life to the internet and to all these different platforms for people like myself to learn from. And I know I've told you guys a lot about, the multiple people that have helped me, but I'll just quickly share them. Gary Vaynerchuk, he's my number one. He's the one that shook me into the healthiest perspective and just gave me an all-around understanding for what this life can truly be. And I'm forever grateful for him. Dave Ramsey helped me a ton along the way. Jay Shetty has helped me a ton. There's honestly a lot of people that have really done a lot, but those are the three I'd say that are the main ones, outside of my main circle and my own journey throughout life. But ultimately, your journey is very unique and very special, and for that reason your perspective is very unique and very special. But depending on where you were raised, who you were raised from, and so forth, will kind of depend on how healthy or good or bad your perspective is. And I was one of those people that was very fortunate to grow up, with my younger years, with a very loving, kind mom and dad. I was really shown a lot of kindness and a lot of just a lot of good stuff. But later on throughout life, I really started to get an unhealthy perspective. I was really comparing a lot to others, and just I was really struggling. But like I said, it wasn't until I found my boy Gary V, and he basically pounded into me was the self-awareness thing. Ultimately, I had to break myself down completely from all materialistic things. I literally had to completely erase every thought about getting a BMW, having a nice home, literally every materialistic thing that I thought my self-worth would be wrapped up into, and I thought success would be wrapped up into, had to be stripped away for me to basically get to the rawest version of myself that you guys are seeing today. And that is the happiest version of anyone's self, I believe, because it's the self that you literally look up to as a child, of your child version of yourself, and be like, damn, I look up to you and I'm proud of you. And honestly, like my 18-year-old version of myself, if I would have kept going at that rate that I was going, I would not have been proud of myself looking back. And like right now, I can honestly say that I'm really proud of myself, and I just know for a fact that you are just a second, not even a second, a perspective away from getting to that point if you're not already there. I know a lot of people are really, really happy and chasing their dreams and doing what they want to be doing, at 18, 17, 19, I don't know, 24, 20, like whatever age you are. And I admire you so much, and I truly, truly love that. And the only thing that I have else for you is I challenge you to go out and share your perspective to hopefully help others that aren't in the same healthy, good perspective that you're in. But for those that aren't in that healthy perspective, the best thing that you can do is think back to your childhood version of yourself. What did you really love to do as a child? What really, even your family has a lot to do with that. For me, for example, I come from a fishing family, and there was the most unhappiest version of myself at 18 was when I was neglecting the fact that I came from a fishing family. And that's not healthy. I think everybody comes from a certain background, and if you don't embrace that, if you don't truly embrace your DNA and who your ancestors are and were, I think you're kind of missing out on the point. And it kind of goes back to what I'm basically saying is think back to the youngest version of yourself before you knew what money was, before you knew what fame was, before you knew what success was, and think about what you like to do. What genuinely did you like to do? And then you can kind of articulate a lifestyle that that kid version of yourself would love to live at whatever age you are now. And obviously a lot of us have obligations and bills and things that we have to maintain and keep in order. And I'm not saying you should just meditate, realize what your younger version of yourself would love, and then quit your job and completely go rogue and live off the map. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what you should do is what Gary Vee taught me to do, which is basically think of a 2 to 5 year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan, 30+ year plan. Literally deploy patience through and through. And as soon as you truly deploy patience, that's when you can kind of start to envision the idea of your dream coming to life in a realistic, practical way, not an aloof, dreamy type way. And it's what he calls practical optimism. And as soon as you can kind of articulate that dream in your mind, you can slowly start to chip away at making that dream become a reality. And I am only 4 years into truly going out after my dream and chasing, everything that I know I can, bring to this reality. And I'm having so much fun on the journey. That's the coolest part about being patient, being passionate, and just prioritizing the things that you love. Is after year 2, I was able to actually, with the help of COVID, I was able to really realize that the happiest version of myself is when I'm not working for others. It's when I'm working for myself. And yeah, as a small content creator, you don't make much money. You really don't. And that's why I still have a part-time job. But ultimately, I'm balancing that to be so happy, and I'm living with a family of 4, and I'm literally living within my means, to be able to afford the lifestyle that brings me as much happiness as it does. And I said earlier, I'm not saying I don't have bad days. I do definitely have bad days. I've got bad months even. But ultimately, I'm still learning to balance my creative journey and my creative, career and stuff, because ultimately it's something that's never stopping. That's the coolest part about being a content creator, is the fact that you literally are working all the time. You're if I wake up in the morning, if I'm not editing something, I can be going out fishing and getting content to edit, or I can be in my car making a video like this, sharing it with hopes of bringing value to others. And that's what brings me happiness. And it is a job that requires so many things to go at once all the time. Like, it's not for everybody, but there are a lot of people that are like myself and that just didn't really know what would bring themselves the most happiness. And until you go out and try something, like, you're really not gonna know. And I know a lot of my friends and like the people that I see like being like the perfect example of like a super fast internet success story. The only reason why they haven't started creating is because of the fact that they just don't know if it's for them. And like that uncertainty is requiring them to like really go out and take a leap, and they're just not doing it. But as soon as they go out and take that leap of faith, like, they're gonna either love it, they're gonna either like get a ton of good feedback off the post and just then love it, or like they're gonna hate it. And all three options are totally cool. You know what I mean? Like, and the other thing is if you do like to create, you're gonna have to roll with the punches. But you know, that's what Gary Vee also really explains extremely well in his content, is that if you're putting yourself out there, and if you want to live a life that is really, you know, full of freedom and like full of like great vibes and like things that you want to be doing all the time, like a content creator lifestyle, you're gonna have to deal with some bullshit. And a lot of people will give you a lot of hate and a lot of poison. But the biggest thing that I always challenge myself is just to like battle that back with kindness. Because ultimately, if somebody's got time to literally spit venom on you or on your page or whatever content you're creating, they are obviously in a very bad place. A very bad place. Sorry, I just got a phone call. So I just really think that that's one of the things that is important, is to just not really, you know, not let it affect you, and to just roll with the punches, and to almost be honored that they're giving you the time, and just look at it as an opportunity for you to make this world a better place by spreading kindness. Because 9 out of 10 times, once you do spread some kindness back, you will see them come back with kindness, and they'll be like, oh shoot, I'm so sorry, you know, I didn't mean it to be like that, or whatever they might say. Or they might not even apologize. But ultimately, like, just giving them the kindness back is what I think this world is needing the most of. And I think a lot of this world needs like really average people to just start creating and start sharing their perspective, because this life is really, really long, and it's really, really beautiful, and it also flies by like really, really fast. And like, a lot of my buddies are literally passing away from high school and from like literally elementary school. A few people that I know should have made it to the age that I'm at, they never will, and it breaks my heart. And you know, I know a lot of people are struggling with mental health, and I know a lot of people are like literally taking their lives. I know a lot of people aren't talking about that kind of shit, but it's happening out here. So I just want each and every one of you to know that if you guys ever need any help, or if you guys really need someone to talk to, please let me know. Honestly, I'll just give you my phone number now. If you want, it's actually, I'm not going to do that. Actually, yeah, I am. Screw it. 224-433-1371. If you're listening to this and you need to talk to someone, give me a freaking call. I will happily talk, but obviously there are great sources other than myself that can talk, that are actually trained to be able to deal with that kind of stuff. I am not trained for that kind of stuff, but I will definitely do my best to help you out in any way that I can, because right now it's a really beautiful time to be alive when you have the right perspective, but it's very difficult to have the right and good perspective right now, because this world does not really put us in the position to have that kind of perspective. You really have to work for it. You really have to go out, strip yourself down, and like literally get humble. You know, humble yourself and find out what really, really makes you tick, what really brings you happiness, and fuck what other people think. You know, you got to do what's best for you, and at the end of the day, that's what's going to make this world a better place. As soon as everyone just really starts to go out and do what they love to do the most, There's going to be no reason for people to be leaving hate comments. There's going to be no reason for us to be, making hate propaganda and bullshit negative news, like, there's no reason why we can't literally rewrite how we do things, because right now we've got it the easiest it's ever been. You look throughout human history, like, I was literally pouring water into the Brita this morning, and I was just like, holy smokes, like, the fact that so many people in this country and around the world are just taking this for granted, like, literally water coming out of a faucet that I could just put my head under and drink instead of putting it into a Brita, like, little shit like that. Once you get your perspective going like that every single day, you'll really realize that this world is a beautiful fucking place that we are living in. And as long as you kind of surround yourself with the positive, optimistic people and the optimistic content, like, you're going to eventually become more optimistic, even if you are very pessimistic naturally. Like, it's just inevitable. If you fill your ears, you fill your eyes, and you fill everything that you surround yourself with positive and good energy, you will become positive and good energy. With that said, fam, I love you so much. I hope you have the best day ever. And with that said, if you have some happiness, if you've got some good vibes to spread, do it. Spread it through a text, through a tweet, social media, whichever way you do your thing, like, do it. This world needs it now more than ever. And as always, fam, stay curious. Without curiosity, there's no room to grow, fam. So stay curious, and please, please, please spread the happiness that you've got, because this world needs it, fam. I love you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this. Peace. Let me know if you want to talk.